Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am Emily, and today's video is going to be completely unrelated to what I usually talk about here. But I had so many of you leave comments on my divorced home tour that I want to address three things. Three of the top most made decorating mistakes. And why do I want to do that? Because you guys were leaving me comments like, oh my God, I love your home. I can never figure this out. I can never figure that out. I don't know how to put anything together. How do you do this? How do you do that? Okay. So as a stager, which is what I do for a living. So after my second divorce, when I didn't have a job and I was 50 and I didn't know how I was going to support myself, I got the gumption, the nerve to start my own business. I know, insane. But so I had a friend who was a realtor. I had a conversation with her, and she on the spot said, oh my God, I would hire you in a heartbeat, because innately I always had a passion for decor. Like innately I loved fashion and home decor. And so when she said that she would hire me, I took a course, I became certified, and I became a home stager. So for those of you that don't know what a home stager is, it's someone that works with realtors to get properties ready to go on the market. And so our job predominantly is to depersonalize, declutter, but also go into a home and showcase some of the rooms. So really bring out that focal point, create flow, proper furniture placement, stuff like that. And so I'm going to tell you what the three biggest mistakes that we see in people's homes all the time. So the first one is, okay, you guys, you are hanging your art way too high. So I'm Portuguese, and when I go back to Portugal, I'm from this little village. Maybe it's an old school thing, but my grandparents and everybody actually there has their art hanging like almost at ceiling level. Like you got to look up to see the art. And I find that we've sort of have carried that on here in today's culture, today's world. You're distracting me. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the rule of thumb when you're hanging your art, you're going to take a measuring tape and you're going to measure up 63 inches. And 63 inches should be the midpoint of where your art, it should hit midpoint on your art. Now that's a general rule of thumb. If you have higher ceilings, you can play with that, but generally go up 63 inches to the center point and you will get a great placing for your art. Now, if you're going to be hanging your art above a sofa or above a cabinet, then you want to hang your art anywhere from 4 to 6 inches above the piece that you're hanging your art on. Does that make sense? So 4 to 6 inches, the bottom of your art, the frame, will hit at about 4 to 6 inches from where your sofa is or your cabinet or whatever, okay? So 63 inches from the floor up, because you want it to be at eye level, and you can play with it a little bit, but you don't want to put it way up. And then 4 to 6 inches if you're going to be hanging your art anywhere above anything, okay? So art is always hung way too high. Secondly, your area rug. So your area rugs should be large enough so that wherever you have your area rug, and it's generally like in a living room or a family room, all front legs of the furniture. So if you have a sofa or a love seat or a sectional, and maybe you've got 2 chairs over here, all front legs should be sitting on the area rug. You should never have an area rug that just sits under the coffee table, because then it's just floating. It's not anchoring the space. When you have an area rug that is large enough to embody all the pieces of furniture, at least with the front legs sitting on it, it just anchors the space. It creates a cozier space, and it just makes sense, because what's the point of having an area rug under the coffee table. You can't, it's not cozy on your feet. You can't walk on it. You can't lay on it. You can't. So make sure that your area rug is large enough so that you have the front legs sitting on your area rug. Okay, that's number 2. Most commonly made mistakes. Can't tell you how many times you go into a home and there's like a little area rug and just a coffee table sitting on it. Don't do that. The third thing. Okay, so the third thing is with drapery or curtains. Now, the most common made mistake with drapery is that you're hanging your drapes where your window frame is. What you should do is take your drapery, take your curtain rod and go up as close to the ceiling as possible so that you are creating this illusion of tall ceilings, bigger room. So not only do you want to go to the ceiling, I'm looking at my curtains right now, which are almost at the ceiling. Not only do you want to go to the ceiling with your curtain rod, with your curtains, but you also want them to come all the way down and just hover over the floor. I mean, you could puddling is when they sort of all just sit on the floor in a puddle. You could do that. It's more sort of an outdated, but if you're doing that and you love it, keep it. You know, decor is an art form, right? There's not a lot of wrong and right. It's just like a rule of thumb for it to look more aesthetically pleasing. So take your curtain from almost to the ceiling all the way down to the floor, and then make sure that you have enough panels on either side. So you're also going to extend that rod outside the window frame, 4 to 6 inches outside the window frame, and having more than one panel per side. When you have more than one panel per side, it just gives it more of a luxurious feel and look. And practically, on practical terms, you can close those curtains and cover the entire length of the window. So I think the rule of thumb for that is that you have 2 to 3 times the length in a panel. 2 to 3 times the length of the panel. Okay, Emily, 2 to 3 times the length of the panel larger than your window frame. Gosh, sometimes I feel like Portuguese is my first language. It's my mother tongue. I learned that language first. I'm fluent in Portuguese, and I feel like sometimes I am thinking in Portuguese and trying to translate it into English. Anyway, so that's it. Heart hung too high. Art is hung too high. Let's bring that art down. Let's get area rugs that are large enough to anchor the space and the furniture can sit on top of it. And let's bring those curtains all the way up to the ceiling, extend it out to give the illusion of a nice, long, large, spacious room. That's it. Thought I would just share that with you guys. I wanted to keep it under 10 minutes, just a real quick, because I was getting a lot of comments, and thank you for your sweet comments. So awesome. Thank you so much. I do love my home, and that is one thing that I don't regret about divorce. I just did a video on divorce regret. I know, such an oxymoron, but that is one thing that that is such a positive, is just creating that space that I love so much. And this is another regret. This is another non-regret. I was never a cat person, ever, ever, ever. I took my dog into the vet one day for his shots or something, I can't remember. And this little guy needed a home, and he jumped up on my lap, and he wouldn't get off my lap for the whole visit. And now I am so obsessed with him, and I have never been a cat person. I always thought cats were little freaking assholes, and he's not an asshole at all. I could do anything to him. He's just the sweetest thing ever. And he taps my legs to pick him up all day, all day. And I love it. But my point is, I was never allowed to have cats. And now we have 2. I know I'm going to turn into the old cat lady. Somebody actually left a message. Somebody left a nasty message saying, be careful, ladies, all your girl bosses on here. You're all going to turn into cat ladies, die alone, and your cats are going to eat you. That was a comment someone left, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. This is my little, his name is Gatinho, and that means cat in Portuguese. Well, it's gato. Gato is cat, but we call him Gatinho. And you can literally do anything to him. Hey, honey? I know. I love you. Bye, guys. Have a great day. I'm going to play with my cat. I hope that helps. If you have any questions on home decor or anything, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Have a great day. Bye.